Hey, sixth graders, Ms. Keith and I were noticing that lesson number 3 for Unit 7 is a little bit tricky, and specifically this ratio table for number 1. So I'm going to refer to page 343 in your workbook to kind of help you with this going forward. So just to make it a little bigger, I copied the table for us to kind of refer to. Remember, the ratio that we were comparing was tangerine and cherry. So a good place to start is going to be to think about, where do we have both numbers in this chart filled out? So in the middle of the chart you have an 8 and a 6. 8 representing tangerine, 6 representing cherry. So you're going to look here first as a place to start to think about, what is my basic ratio? So you're going to want to think about, like, how can 8, 6 or 8 and 6 both be simplified? What can they both be divided by? And you'll see that I put a little note there that they can both be divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So our basic ratio for tangerine to cherry is 4 to 3. Having that basic ratio would be a good place for you to continue to go on. And then you can kind of see where there are patterns that you can use to fill out the rest. So you'll see that right away I saw 3 times 5 equals 15. So in order to do the one right above it, we would do my basic ratio. 4 times 5 is going to leave us with 20. You could go back here. You had a 1 in your table. 3, and how did the 3 turn into a 1? Obviously it got smaller this time, so we're not multiplying, so it was a sign that it was division. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So then we knew that 4 had to be divided by 3 as well. So it could be 4/3 or 1 1/3 would be 2 responses. Same thing here. You had a 4 and the 4 turned into a 1. So there was division that took place here. 4 divided by 4 was 1. Whatever we do to get the pattern here, but we divided by 4, we need to divide 4 here. So 3 divided by 4 is 3/4. You could do that one in decimal form too. Where else do we need to go here? So this one was kind of tricky. Nothing times 3 or nothing times 3 would give you a 2, or it's kind of hard to think 3 divided by what is 2. So I went back to this 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So then if I kind of follow that same pattern, going right above the 1 to 4/3 times 2 is 8/3. So here's kind of just a little map as to how I figured out those tables, and maybe this would help you for that practice sheet or your Think Central. Hope this helps.